Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. How we doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is not the time driving music gets pain. Morning, Hamster. Good morning, Chef. Margin. All the familiar faces. Jacob. Anna. Sam C. Brian English. A little late today, Brian English. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Buenos dias. Yeah, what a move on Netflix. Holy hell. Forgot to look at that one this morning, actually. Finally squeezed over that 624 level. Finally, which is nice. Morning, morning, morning. Yeah, Coinbase sick, man. Congrats on anyone that got a piece of that. Straight from the live stream, straight from our entry point in the group. Pretty nice. Should be a nice way to wake up this morning. Wish I had a little bit more size in that thing, but hey, it is what it is. A win's a win. I'm happy about it. Should be a really nice percentage point win, so that's always a big plus. Didn't have to risk much to make some money. So really nice there. We'll see what she can do today. She's right at that 50 SMA, the 50 daily SMA. So I'm expecting a little bit of trouble there. We'll take a look at it. But I'll probably take majority of profits here. I mean, I'm at this point $23 in the money on these contracts. So really, really deep in the money now. No, I don't have any more of those shirts, Chef, but we got a few shirts coming out here soon. I just got to make sure. I've had some problems with my website, and I'm going back and forth with my internet, my website provider, to make sure it works. And then once I know for sure it's working, I'm going to release those new shirts. I just don't want to release these shirts, and then people can't get on the website, and then I get 5,000 emails. I can't get on the website. Why is the website open and not me? Why can you open the website and not me? So I'm waiting to make sure that's solid, and then I'll get it out. Chef, but maybe we'll rerun those. That's probably my favorite design we've ever done. So I'll hit up Marvin, see if we can redo those. Morning, everyone. Welcome back to the live stream. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday. Some decent action out there yesterday. Some good ones, some ugly ones. You know, we had a nice QQQ trade, nice Coinbase trade. I did have a loser on Amazon yesterday, which was very strange. Totally uncorrelated to the market yesterday, Amazon. So we'll take a look at that one. Very strange. You know, I don't know if it was not. I really have not. After I took my loss on Amazon, I just didn't look at it. I didn't even care to see why it didn't move with the market. If any of you guys know why, feel free to let me know. But Amazon just did not move with the market at all yesterday. So unfortunately, did have to take a loss on that. But all good. Wins outweigh the losses, and that is what it is. So today, one day closer to Nvidia earnings, one day closer to the big event. One day closer to, keep an eye on some of these semiconductors moves. And then also a little bit of heat in the crypto names. A little bit of heat on Bitcoin, Ethereum. Ethereum, there was some ETF news yesterday on Ethereum. And it popped major yesterday. I mean, I think Ethereum was up like 20% overnight. I don't even know what is it up now. It's up 21% since Monday's close, yesterday's close. So that's pretty big. So some heat on that crypto side. Let's keep an eye on some of that. Coinbase, obviously, if you guys want to look at the Maras, the riots of the world, feel free to do that. I like sticking with Coinbase primarily, but we'll take a look at some others. MicroStrategy as well could see a little bit of heat. It has been seeing some heat. So that's where the money's at right now, but let's continue to keep an eye on the other names as we always do. Let's get started. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got what do we got? We got 200 like. We got 1/4 1/4 of the people here have pressed the like button. I'd appreciate if we could pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Here we go. All right. Economic calendar to start. Today is Tuesday. We have some more FOMC members speaking. The only one that is speaking during market hours is right here. That is right here at 11:45. That is the only FOMC member speaking during market hours. Member Barr speaking at 11:45. Everything else is pre-market. So this is all pre-market. This is after hours. So the only thing that's really going to be something to watch intraday is 11:45. We'll see if there's anything that really pops, off that, but keep an eye on that 11:45. Tomorrow, existing home sales, crude oil inventories, FOMC minutes. FOMC minutes is not the interest rate decision. This is not, Jerome Powell press conference. This is not FOMC. This is just the minutes. A little bit of a press conference about what they talked about in their previous meeting. If everything sort of is status quo, you don't really expect much here, which I would expect. That's typically what happens. A little bit of up, a little bit of down, a little bit of volatility, and that's pretty much all that the day, that's all that we see on that 2 o'clock time frame. So you could keep an eye on it, but I wouldn't get too worried about that 2 o'clock. If there's something that's out of left field, then sure, maybe there's something crazy, but we can't really predict that. Thursday, unemployment claims, manufacturing PMI, services PMI, new home sales, and then we end the week with consumer sentiment, nothing too major. Other thing, make sure to remember, market is closed on Monday. All right, market is closed on Monday for Memorial Day. Feels very excited for that. Memorial Day, Monday, don't have to look at the market, a day of relaxation. And so that is very exciting. So next week will be a short week. Make sure we understand that. If we pop ahead, you can see right here, Monday, bank holiday. So that's very exciting there. All right. Let's go to the the earnings calendar. We can take a look at what is approaching. There are some big ones. Obviously, just Nvidia, really, but that's a major one. So you can see right here. Here's our earnings calendar. Today after close, we got Toll Brothers, nothing that big. This morning we had Lowe's, Macy's, AutoZone, some retailers there. Tomorrow morning, Target, TJ Maxx, nothing crazy. Really all that matters to me is this right here. Nvidia earnings will affect a lot. Affect other semiconductors, AMD, TSM, MU, Qualcomm, SMCI, ARM. All of these are going to be affected by this earnings on Wednesday after close. So, going to be a major one here. Major for the market. As you guys know, Nvidia is a big part of that Nasdaq as well. So a lot of eyes on that Nvidia earnings. Snowflake, Elf, some decent ones there, and that's pretty much it, guys. So, this is the big event. This is what the market's really waiting on, and let's make sure we are aware of that. All right. If you guys could, as you start to step in here, press that like button. We are going to dive into the technicals. So, I went ahead and I colored my green bars here for you today. Let me know if you like it better like this, or I figured I'd make it a little bit more vibrant here for you guys. I sort of like it. I think it looks a little bit easier to read, I'd say. So, here we go. Nasdaq futures. The level that we are stuck below is right here. It's that all-time high level before that little pop and squeeze yesterday afternoon. Really, it's that set at 18,760. It's very clear here. 18,760, 18,760, 18,760. We have seen multiple rejections at this level, and that is very clearly the level that needs to break to get a move to the upside. Okay? Very clear. 18,760, that's your level. You have seen the rejections come in multiple times here in the pre-market. You know that that's that previous all-time high back from Thursday of last week. So we are very aware of that level today. Now, the thing that I do like, right, even though we are seeing some rejections there, right, we're seeing a very solid hold, in my opinion, as of now, at our 18,730. This was one of our levels yesterday. This was our highs here from that Wednesday move. This was pretty much where we failed on Thursday. And look at how we've held above this level pretty much all yesterday afternoon and all pre-market today. So what are you in? Well, you're in about the tightest 30-point range here on the market in some time, right? In at least over the last 2 weeks. This is a very clear 30-point range on the Nasdaq futures, and you better believe that trading inside of this is going to be disgusting, okay? There is absolutely no reason to feel like you have to be involved in a 30-point range on the Nasdaq futures. Wait for this to break one of the sides, okay? Wait for us to get over 760, hold above it for that long, right? Or wait for us to at least see what happens under the 730 if we fail below that, okay? Under 730, right? Under 730, I think you move right here to that previous all-time high, that 18,709. That's the previous all-time high from, back in, when is that? Back in March. That was our previous all-time high. I might have to take that. Eventually, I'll have to take that text off of there, but at least for now, I understand what it is. Previous all-time high back in March before this recent run-up was 18,709, right? You've seen some support step in there previously, and you saw support step in there yesterday, right? You got that downside yesterday right here, right? You saw this. See this yesterday? A little bit of a wick down to that 18,709, and look at how strong that got bought back up, right? So that right there is a level to watch today. So right here, you watch your 18,730 for your long entry, okay? If you fail under that, you're watching your 18,709. That's another one, right? And then under that is our pre-market high at 18,690. 18,690 was the level that we talked about yesterday to try to get above and look for a long above that level. And look at this yesterday, right? This was that 453 QQQ level. Look at this right here. 18,690 pre-market highs yesterday on the Nasdaq futures. Look at the hold that stepped up there about 10 minutes after market open. That was the perfect long. That was our QQQ long right here. And that was a beauty. So really nice key level hold there. 18,690 pre-market highs into a intraday low. That's called a break and retest long. Beautiful. So 18,690, sexy. That's your level to watch there. Below that or above that, 18,709. Very clear there. That's your hold from here intraday yesterday. 690, 709, and 730. 3 levels to be watching for demand today. The level to watch out for rejections is very clear here around that 18,760. And you can just see the second we tap that here, look at the reaction again. 18,760. That does not like that level this morning. So we need to be careful there, right? We need to be careful there. We're not longing into 760 and we're not shorting into 730. 30-point range, twilight zone, dead zone, black hole. Don't get involved in here. That's my opinion. Do not get involved in here. Wait for something clear on the outside of these levels, okay? If you want to trade the channel, you better trade the channel and you better respect the levels, right? If you're going to trade the channel, you're not shorting here into this demand. If you want to trade the channel, you're not longing here into supply, okay? You better long here and you better short here if that's what you want to be involved in. QQQ. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. Here's the 30-minute on the Qs. So we saw back here last week on Friday, we came back to that previous all-time high, 449.35, held it. Yesterday, we talked about that 451, 452 area, 451.80. We held that very strong. You can see that at the open. We talked about that 453 level. I'll show you the 453 level right now. That was your break and retest here. You can see 453, pre-market high. Look at the break and retest. That was our long yesterday. If you want to watch the video that I posted yesterday, that was all about this right here and how you can find your entries on those retest longs. That was very nice. And now, what you can see right here, what level is holding right now is 454. Now, 454 is this previous high here. And you can see for now, it is turning into support. So you have a previous rejection point at 454 turning into an all-day hold yesterday and a hold for now in the pre-market. So very clear. You have very clear levels here. 454, 453, and that 451.80. Those are the levels that I'd be watching today on the QQQ. This right here, if we continue to turn this rejection point into a support, right, then that is a very clear reason to possibly look for more upside today. 454, I think, is a must-hold level. If you want to see very strong upside, that is the same as this 18,730, right? Same exact levels, lined up pretty cleanly there. I didn't put a level on this. You could, it's like right in the, it's like 454, 450. You could call it 455. If you want to make it clean, you could call it like that 455 level. Basically, what level is rejecting in the pre-market? That's lining up with this Nasdaq level, right? This Nasdaq level here at 18,760, right? What level is that on the QQQ? It looks like it's just about that 455 area. You could maybe put it down at like the 454.85, right in there, right? We can see those rejections coming in this morning. So you might want to have that on your charts as well. 454. 454.85. That's an 85-cent range on the QQQ this morning, and I would want to see us get outside of that. If we break under 454, we probably trade back to 453, right? If we break over 454.85, we probably trade up into the all-time high. That's probably the move that these are the money moves, okay? This is the move you like to see today. Now, do we get those moves? It's not a guarantee, right? That's not a guarantee. You have Nvidia earnings tomorrow. There's definitely a potential for the market to just do a whole bunch of this, and everyone starts trying to trade, Nvidia with 80, 90% IV, and this thing just goes sideways all day. So I would be very careful of that. If you start to see this sort of choppiness early morning over the first maybe hour of the market, I'd say get the hell out of there. All right, ES. Pretty much the same thing on the ES here, guys. Sitting between a pretty tight range here. If you guys look at this ES on the 15-minute chart, you can see we have very clear highs at 53.37 and very clear lows right here at 53.28. That is a 10-point range on the ES this morning. You can see it very clearly, right? Rejections, some rejections here, rejection there, rejection yesterday, rejections in the pre-market. 53.37 is a very clear rejection spot, and the holds are very clear here at this 53.28, right? You can see those holds that have come in all day yesterday, have come in the past, and even under that, you have the 53.24. So it's really this whole range here, 53.24 to 53.28. You could really do it like this and not, right? And that could really be that really is your entire demand zone there. Anywhere between this low and these highs, right? This low, these lows, anywhere in here, I think could continue to hold this market higher. So I would watch that whole zone between 53.28, 53.24. It's about a 4-point range on the ES that I believe continues to show resiliency back to the upside, right? We can very clearly see that. So I'd watch that whole 4-point range today on the ES. If you fail underneath this yesterday low, that's possibly where you can see a little bit of further downside towards that 53.10. That's very possible. That's if you fail under this low. That's yesterday's lows. But if you continue to hold, I'd say the likely move, if you continue to hold here, is the eventual pop and hold higher. Okay? That's 53.37. That's your supply high. And then very clearly, the all-time high at 53.50. Okay? SPY. Pretty much the same exact read, right? Really no difference here. You can put those really short-term levels on. It's like 530, 530.45. You could put that little very extreme short-term level there. I sort of like leaving it a little bit larger there at 531, because that's really the major level above. And then the major level down here is 529.50. It's that whole 50-cent range. Let me put that on the charts there, right there. So to the downside, right, you could watch this 529.50 to 529. That was the lows that came in yesterday on the SPY. That is these previous highs and some holds here, right? Holds there. This whole 50-cent range looks to be a demand zone on the SPY. So I would be aware of that. If you do drop into this area, be careful of this market reversing back higher. Do not short back into this zone right here. If you fail below 529, that is where I think you could get the downside continuation, right? That's where I think you could get the downside continuation, right? Down into the 527, 527.50. This is something, and the Tay's money, right? A good question, but there's something you need to, I think a lot of people fail to, maybe some newer traders that see like a double top formation or an inverse head and shoulder, right? Whatever it is you're looking at, sure, yes, this is a double top. Yes, you can very clearly say that, right? That is a double top on the SPY. But you cannot short that. Why, right? You can't just say, oh, it's a double top and I am shorting it, because you are still above levels that have held, right? So you can't short into yesterday's lows, okay? You cannot short into these levels that we have held above around 529, right? 529, 529.50. So yeah, it's a double top, right? But we need a confirmation of a key level breakdown before we just start playing that double top idea. Sure, it's a double top. We can keep that in mind. Where do I think you actually would want to play downside? If you actually broke below the 529 level, all right? This is where you'd actually take action on that idea. You can't short into these lows, right? Whoever shorted yesterday on the SPY, because it's a double top, right, into these lows, lost money, okay? You do not want to short into a demand low. While it's a double top, that doesn't mean we just trade the market short, okay? We need to be breaking down key levels, and if there's one thing I could take away from this market as of late, it does not want to go down, right? As much as you may think it wants to, or as much as your mind wants the market to go down, it does not want to go down. Now, there might be a day it does, but for now, the general read on this market is that demands hold very strong, and we can see that again yesterday, the failure to move lower once again. So 529.50, 529, be careful shorting into that level. And then, of course, right, there's still those supplies above, so you do need to be aware of that as well. 531.50, 531, clear rejections above. Again, like I said, on every indice we've talked about so far, completely sideways channel, right? Completely sideways channel. RTY, Russell, channel, what's new? Major supply rejections. We've talked about the 2125. We've talked about the 2100, 2090 demand. What are we doing? We're just stuck right inside of it, guys. So you need a break of something here, or just continue to trade the channel, right? You either trade in long here, trade in short here. That's up to you. If you want to get involved in the short of supply or this hold down here, you can look for the longs. You can look for the shorts. But overall, you're going to need a break outside of this channel here to really get a move. So make sure you're aware of that. Dow Jones, a little bit sneaky on the breakdown here. A little bit sneaky on the breakdown here. We can see we're sort of floating under 40,000 here, right? You see that? You can see previous lows, possibly a little retest rejection, right? This is what I'm talking about breaking a channel, right? This is potentially breaking a channel on the Dow. You can see right here, we had a 40,000 low, and we're under that now. So, yeah, if the Dow sort of rejects this 40,000, this could be a little short side play, maybe back to 39.7. That's something to watch, right? That's something to watch. Keep an eye on that 40,000 on Dow. Look to see if rejections start to step in here. If they do, could see a little bit of weakness on that Dow. You saw some weakness on some Dow names yesterday, such as financials, right? Goldman Sachs is a big Dow name. I think Ulta is a big Dow name. You've seen a lot of weakness. So you've seen some weakness on some of these, like the banks yesterday were very ugly. JP Morgan straight down, I think because of Jamie Dimon's potential retirement or whatever is going on there. But yeah, a little bit of weakness on the Dow there yesterday, under 40K. That's something I would watch. All right. Got to break this channel, guys. Got to break this channel here today. If we trade within this channel today, I would go to the beach. I would do some of your normal day-to-day work for the first time in a while. I would go pet your dog, maybe take him for a walk. He's been dying to go for a walk. Yeah, I would not get involved in this. If we can get outside of it, if we can maybe break this low right here today, then maybe there's some action we could look for. But we're still, right, just because we break this low does not mean we're shorting the hell out of this market. There's still levels below, 18,709, 18,690, still levels to watch for potential upside holds. All right? All right. Tesla. It's an ugly stock. It's an ugly stock. I don't think I have any interest in it. You have very clear highs at 182. You have very clear lows around this 165. And I'm going to assume that this thing just does a whole lot of nothing for a long period of time, potentially. I'm hoping not, because I bought shares at 173. So I'm just sitting break even on these things pretty much. And I've considered whether I should maybe not, have these, just sort of get out of them, break even, and wait for something to actually heat up. Because I'm not sure I want to just sit in this on my shares. I would not trade Tesla. There's no correlation to the market. There's no way of knowing what the next day holds. I would have never expected this off market open yesterday. Okay. I don't know how anyone would have expected this off market open yesterday. The market went up and Tesla went straight down. Okay. So that's not something I can predict. That's not something I have an edge with. That is not something I can use market clues, market context to get me a potential trade, okay? If I see the Nasdaq strong, typically I am looking to long tech stocks or long stocks in general. This is not. If you long Tesla because the Nasdaq strength yesterday, you had a really bad day. So I don't like that one bit. That's just how I trade, right? Whether you like it or not, that's just how I trade. That's my personal recommendation. If a stock is not correlated with the market, I do not like trading it. So as of right now, no interest in trading Tesla on a day-to-day basis. This has been the move for almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. It's been doing pretty much nothing. It's just random upside, random downside, Maybe some days it goes straight up at open. Some days it'll go straight down at open. Who knows? So, yeah, not something I'm going to be involved with here. Best of luck. We might need to retire looking at Tesla a little bit because I surely am not interested. All right. So, 1 hour chart on Nvidia. What an absolutely beautiful break and retest on the 1 hour chart. You can see right here that 918, 920 level. You can see previous highs turning into very beautiful lows. That is called a break and retest. That's a break and retest long right there. That's about as pretty as it gets on Nvidia. Bam, right? You can see the breakout. You see the retest of the breakout point. We always retest that breakout point, and you can see the long that was created off that level. Very nice. Yesterday, we talked about 936. We talked about the 936 level. Holding for a potential long, right? And you can see pretty much straight off the open, we just rocketed straight to the upside, which never really presented a long opportunity. But if you did catch it really early on, congratulations. 936 was surely a nice hold there. Here's the problem, okay? What is the likelihood that Nvidia breaks to new all-time highs the day before its earnings? My opinion would be that likelihood would be low, okay? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know for sure, right? I don't know for sure. That's just not something that, I can predict. But you do have all-time highs here around that 960 level. that has been a very clear rejection point. Do I expect Nvidia to have brute strength through these all-time highs today, the day before earnings? I would say no, but I have seen things that have surprised me in the market before. So there's really no way of saying that. I would be very careful longing Nvidia today at 960. I would be extremely careful, actually, trying to long near this 960 today. I think there is a lot of heavy action up here, and I would expect it to be sort of weak and sort of slow around this 960 today before its earnings. Possibly just sort of sitting right under it all day. That's a possibility as well. I don't love trading Nvidia today. IV is very high. Contracts cost a mortgage to even buy one of them. Not really something I'm going to get sort of interested in. Yesterday, you pretty much went sideways all day. We can even look at the option contracts yesterday and take a look at what they did during that sideways action. So let's go to like the 950s yesterday. Where's yesterday? Here they are. So you got a little bit of a pop here and then just sort of stayed sideways all day, guys, on the option contracts. Really no movement on Nvidia yesterday. I'd be careful. Nvidia will drop out of ER. Okay, we're already predicting. Guys, please stop predicting what happens on earnings. Please. You're not that smart. You're not that cool. You don't know what's going to happen. You continue to think this way, you will continue to lose money in the stock market. I can guarantee you that. Okay? You're not that smart. You do not know what's going to happen. I can guarantee it. 960, 960, 960, 960. Watch out for that high today. For intraday trading reasons, I'd be very careful longing or getting involved near that 960 level. Could there be some short side action off the 960? Very possible. But you saw some of this resiliency continue to come in yesterday. Not going to be involved too much there. I'll wait for tomorrow and wait to see what happens on earnings. Okay? But watch 960, I'd say. All right, let's continue. AMD. AMD sort of did what we expected yesterday. We talked about this range on AMD and how it could get sort of tight in here. And I think that's pretty much what we're getting, guys. We're not going to get much continuation on AMD here before NVIDIA earnings. That's just sort of obvious. Okay, let's sort of think about that logically. Right? There's a lot of eyes on NVIDIA earnings. There's a reason why NVIDIA is not moving much. It's sort of staying balanced. There's also a reason why AMD is doing the same thing, right? Because we know AMD is going to move. It's going to have reactions based off that NVIDIA earnings. So you can see right here, 171, 171, 174, right? That area is going to be very tough to get through. So be careful of that 171 supply, right? Be careful of that 174 low. And then watch this 100 SMA and 50 SMA, okay? 100 SMA, 50 SMA continues to knock this thing lower, right? You can see right here. You can knock it lower, right? And just not really interested in here, right? We can see it's been pretty pinned between 162 and around this 171. You could try to trade the extremes, right? Like we talked about yesterday, you could trade the extremes. You could try to short the extreme pops to the upside. So if AMD maybe pops into the 100 SMA again today or pops towards that 171, you could try to trade that extreme, right? The reversal of the extreme move. Because overall, I would believe that AMD wants to sort of flatline at the mean, right? Reversion to the mean is sort of the move that I continue to expect here. So if you get a little bit of an upside move, reversion to the mean. If you get a little bit of a downside move, I'd say there's a reversion to the mean back into that sort of 165 area. So that's sort of my read on AMD now. I'm not really that interested in trading this zone here, this channel. And I would assume, if you get those extreme moves, you might get sort of that reversion. Let's go to TSM. TSM needs to get over 154. For now, it is not. And it's possible it just sort of dies off here before NVIDIA earnings. We're not really getting any continuation at that 154 area. So you can see right here, we did get that nice hold yesterday. We did get that nice 150.5 and sort of that downtrend breakout. But we definitely saw the 154 level step in, right? We definitely saw that 154 level step in. So not in love with TSM to the upside. You really need to get above 154 today. If you can't get above that level, I'd expect sort of overall weakness on TSM today. Maybe back down even to that 150.5. If you can get over that 154 and really see some action today, then maybe there's something there for that upside continuation. But you definitely need to get above 154. Without that, I would not look for TSM upside. This will probably just sort of stay sort of hindered all day. So watch that 154 on TSM. MU. Oh, little bit of news on MU maybe. Oh, yeah. Micron now expects full year 24 CapEx to be forecast. Okay, so CapEx increasing on MU. I mean, CapEx is never that bad. I mean, obviously an instant reaction to the downside, but CapEx is just them wanting to spend more money, probably for good reason. I'd assume if the management is any type of competent. So CapEx $8 billion versus prior forecast of 7.5, so about $500 million more CapEx than previous. Causing a little bit of downside there, a little bit of rejection of that 130 level. Looks like it's holding our 124.50. Maybe this is an opportunity today, right? Maybe there's an opportunity to look for MU reversals. I don't really think MU CapEx increasing by 500 million should make it go down all day. So I'd be aware of that. I'd be careful on that. Just be aware of the demand that's holding. If you guys are short MU, just be aware of this 125.50. This could hold MU higher. If it breaks under 125.50, then I think you're in the driver's seat there. Probably maybe back down to 121. But I would be aware of the 125.50 in the short term. That is definitely, and you can see, look at this. I mean, I didn't even touch these levels today, guys. This is why it's important to try to really tune in your levels, and hopefully it's helping, being on this live stream. I did not touch this level. You guys saw me come into this chart, right as you saw it live. And this is a level that we've had on our chart for, a few days. And so you can see 124.50 holding very nicely. That was a key level. MU's not going to go down 30 to 50%. I can almost put my life savings on that. We are not going to see MU go down 50% from this point. I can guarantee that, okay? MU will not be at $60 in a few weeks, in the next 4 days. So we're not going to see MU at 60. I don't know why we're saying MU is going to go down 30 to 50%. That's absolutely insane. Let's stop trying to predict what stocks do, and let's start watching technical levels, okay? If you hold 125.50, MU will stay higher. If you break below it, then MU will go down, okay? And then we will trade what happens off the technical levels, all right? That's how you trade. That's how you actually trade instead of try to predict what's going to happen. So if you get under 125.50, then you can go lower, right? All right. But let's stop trying to predict what's going to happen, and let's start trading off technical levels. It's not trolls, man. It's me trying to genuinely help people, okay? Because I see a lot of predictions, a lot of Nostradamuses. Nostradamuses, ego gets you nowhere in the stock market. Trade it off your levels. Set up trade ideas. If you break a certain level, you set up a trade idea. You attempt a trade, and you look to see what happens without bias, without ego, without any type of knowing what's going to happen. All right? That's how you trade, without bias, without ego, without telling someone what's going to happen on the market. You predict, you typically lose. And then you don't understand why you lost because you're so damn confident that what you think is correct that you just can't accept that you're incorrect. All right? It's a terrible, terrible way to trade the market. ARM, I would say continue to watch 110. Keep an eye on this 110 area, right? Keep an eye on that 110 area. That's something to watch there at 110. Keep an eye on that. I say this with kindness as much as I can, but I say it with a stern voice to try to really get the point across. ARM 110, keep an eye on that level. Let's go to Qualcomm. Qualcomm's been sort of hot lately. I mean, yesterday was nice. It was a really nice break and retest yesterday. There was a trading opportunity yesterday on 196, right? We can definitely see that. We had that previous high right here, 196. on Qualcomm. And you can see right here, if we go to the 1 minute chart, you can see right here, right? Look at this 196. Previous rejections. Look at that hold. Really nice trade yesterday on Qualcomm to the upside on a 196 break and retest, right? That's a trade you can take with technical levels and structure, right? We knew, okay, previous highs 196. We know that that's a rejection point, right? Coming into yesterday, we know this is the demand hold area. We can see that we held that demand once again. So we're understanding what the market's doing here, right? Nice demand hold. No predictions there. We know that that's a previous demand. That could hold again, right? That's our rejection point. We know that that could be a rejection. Now we go into the short-term time frames. We watch Qualcomm intraday, right? And we say, oh, shit, look at this. Qualcomm has broken above 196, right? So, okay, we've gotten above our morning high. We've gotten above our 196 previous rejection point. Oh, wait a second. Look at this. We're seeing a strong hold above that level now. I'm going to attempt a long here, right? I'm going to attempt a long using a strategy and using my retest level and look for an upside continuation. And that is exactly what Qualcomm did. And that is a beautiful trade. Idea, setup, stop loss, plan, everything behind it to make money yesterday on Qualcomm. Very nice. Okay. Today, I'd say watch 196 again. See if it holds, right? All right. Let's go to SMCI. SMCI, very interested still in SMCI. Waiting to see. Obviously, it's just going to be sort of dead in my opinion, maybe before Nvidia earnings tomorrow. But I do not think that this move is over. I'm stalking this thing. I like the hold yesterday of that 870. I'd like to see SMCI try to hold 900. That's really what I'd like to see, right? I'd like to see if SMCI can hold 900. If we can hold above this 900, then I think you could start to see some creeping back to the upside. But if you fail under 900 again, you're probably going to move maybe back down to that 870 and sort of continue in this downtrending move, right? So keep an eye on this. Watch for those 900 rejections today for possible downside, and then look for the 900 hold for maybe a little breakout today, depending, of course, how those semiconductors look. With that MU weakness today, you could see maybe a little bit of early semiconductor weakness, right? MU could maybe drive a little bit of weakness on the semis as alongside Nvidia, right? If Nvidia fails this 960 level today, which it probably will, I'd say there's a higher likelihood of some weakness up here at 960. If you do see some weakness on Nvidia at 960 today, I'm going to assume it's going to drive some of those semiconductors, to be relatively weak as well. So be aware of that. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on the level to sort of get an idea of what it's doing. Let's watch that 900 area on SMCI. All right. Meta, I've sort of retired Meta for the time being. I really don't like how it's been trading versus market. It's very, very weak versus market. Really no correlation. Yesterday's been pretty much down all day. I'd say Meta's probably trading back to this 463 here, guys. That's where I'm sort of thinking, right? Back to that 20 SMA, back to that key demand level. That looks to be the right demand level to wait for it to come back to before even attempting any longs here. You could try to short it into that level, but you're sort of right. You're not too far away from it anymore. Really, the short was right here off that 473, right? 473, 473, 473, 473. Nice rejection there yesterday for some downside move. I would say now you're trading back towards that 20 SMA and that 463. So right now it's really just a 10-point range on Meta. All right. Microsoft, really nice. We talked about that 4-hour sort of, we talked about how Microsoft has been doing those 4-hour moves. Remember that little, 4-hour moves that we were talking about yesterday? And it's done it again. Microsoft has done it again. And you can see a really nice break and retest yesterday on Microsoft. 420, 420, look at the hold. Previous high into new lows. That's a break. That's a retest. That's a long. That is textbook strategy right there. Previous high, we break it, we come back down to the breakout point, we turn the breakout point into support, and we look long off that level for upside. That is textbook break and retest, and you can see it over and over and over and over again. There is always an example of this strategy, of this formation, to trade. It happens every day. It's just a matter of fine-tuning when to look for it, when to take it. That's the key. But at least we know, right, with confidence that this shows up all the time. Previous highs, 419, major rejections. We get above it. We break out. We stay patient. We wait for the retest. It retested on Friday. Maybe you look some longs on Friday. If you swung some Microsoft longs off that pullback, bam, big day yesterday. Congratulations. Okay, moving forward, 15-minute chart, right? We can see right here what happened yesterday, intraday. Previous highs in this general 424 area. Look at the holds that came in, right? 424 highs. Look at the holds that came in there. Previous rejections into support. Very clean on Microsoft. Upside continuation today. What would I look for today? I need a pullback to 424, right? Too close to supply above to be long, just, near the open. Right? You can see right here, you have this very, very clear 430 supply up here. Very heavy, right? Majorly heavy. And so I'm going to need a pullback to that 424 again, maybe to see if there's another long entry here. So watching 424 on Microsoft today. Yeah, Netflix, huge breakout yesterday. I would personally want a retest of the 624 level, man. Like, that would really make me comfortable to trade Netflix. It was a huge move and a very nice. I mean, look at this little curl over 624 yesterday, right? Look at how clean that little curl was and the upside continuation that came in. So a really nice break and sort of intraday hold over that 624 level. No doubt about it. And definitely an opportunity to long Netflix. This 637 level is that previous high, and you can see some of the reactions there, right? Look at this. So if we look at the short-term time frame, look at Netflix yesterday right here. See how it held over that 637 level, sort of around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? Well, if we go out to the 30-minute chart or the hourly chart, there's a reason for that hold, right? 637 is the previous high, right? Right here. So right around this. Let me get this formatted for you 1 second. All right, that 637 level is these previous highs right here. 637, 637, 637 area. And that is why you saw some of this hold come in here yesterday, intraday, at 637. You could, right? You could get aggressive off the 637. You absolutely could look for it today if Netflix really wants to be a runner. But I would be just slightly cautious because if that thing breaks back under 637, if there's some market weakness today, I'm a little bit cautious on that. I'd really be confident back here. If you even get back to that point, I don't know for sure. The only other level you could even look to long here is 637. Okay? If you want to get aggressive on Netflix, if you think this thing's about to run, then it's going to hold 637, in my opinion. Maybe like 635, but I'd want it to be over 637 to long it. So that's the level you'd want to look for. Coinbase. All right, so we talked about Coinbase in the live stream yesterday. We talked about the 100 SMA, right? We talked about the downtrend. We talked about the retest of the previous highs at this 190 area. And if we just zoom out for a second, okay? Let's zoom out for a second, and let's look at the last 3 periods of action on Coinbase, right? Let's look at this chart over the last year of price action. What has Coinbase done this entire time, right? Over the entire year. Pretty much what Coinbase continues to do here is the exact same formation, and you can see it right here. Breakout. You make a new high. You reverse off of that high, and you come back down to that previous high. Breakout. You make a new high. You reverse back to the downside, back to that previous high. Breakout. You make a new high. You reverse back to the downside, and you come back to that previous high. And that has been the exact same formation for an entire year. And that is why I decided to swing trade Coinbase and talk about Coinbase yesterday off that 100 SMA as we've retraced back to the downside like we have done multiple times in the past, right? It's the exact same move. Exact same move. What else happened the last time Coinbase was coming off the 100 SMA? See this? Look at that. Retracement, 100 SMA, Retracement, 100 SMA. It's the identical move. Last move to the upside, not saying it's going to happen again, was about 145%. If this is actually a 145% move like the last time, which I doubt, but if it is, that would take us to just about $470 per share. I don't expect that, okay? Let me make that very clear. But if it was a measured move, and this move, percentage-wise, is the same as this move, you're up at around 400 and something dollars per share. Don't expect that, but that is technically the measured move that you have seen, okay, that you could see. Pullback here was about 30%. Pullback here was about 38%. So 38% on this pullback, and the pullback that we've recently had was about 31%. Okay? So, interesting. There's definitely some levels above, though, that we do need to still break. Let me make that very clear before this thing really gets going. If we go to the hourly chart and we zoom out and look at it a little bit more time here, we can see the very key level that is right in front of our faces is $240 per share. 240, 240. You need to break over 240. If you break over 240, you have broken outside of this channel, right? If you can get over 240, then you are probably going to trade to the top of the next channel, which is 270, okay? So 240 is the major one. If you are not in Coinbase yet, I would be very cautious at the 240. I would want to see a hold above this level for that next long entry and continuation. I would not long Coinbase into 240, okay? I am long at 207, so I am very largely in the money already on yesterday's move. We took that yesterday with the group. You can see that right here. This was at 9:52 yesterday. Long coin, May 31st, 210 calls. This was off the reclaim of 206, 207 yesterday, and this was exactly when we entered at 9:52. So it's up a lot, right? It's up a lot from where we entered. So at this point, it's not really an entry. I would say 240, be careful there. If you do get a pullback, I like the pullback to 220. Yes, what Ty just said right here. If you do get a pullback, I like the call. I like the pullback right here for your next long entry, okay? That's your next long entry right there, 220. Unless you just squeeze this thing over 240. Unless this thing just starts doing this, right? This is your entry, 220, okay? All right, guys. That's about it for me. Yeah, we can take a quick look at the Buttcoin. Here's Buttcoin. Big push on Buttcoin. And, yeah, she looks pretty strong there. Mara, if you guys are interested in Mara on this run to the upside, let's be aware of the very clear level that is rejected many, many times, and that's 23. Okay, that's very clear. 23. Be careful of 23 on Mara. Big level there. Riot, I would not trade Riot. I don't think Riot's a good thing to trade with crypto. I would stick to Mara. Mara looks a little bit of a better name. Mara, Coin, MSTR, major. Oh, man. I don't know if CH is here, man, but CH. Oh, man, if CH is here. CH, you here? You listen to the live stream, CH? If you are, CH, I remember us looking at this flag right here. That's why this little line was here. We were looking at this last week. Holy hell. Did I miss that? Wow. Yeah, we were sort of charting this out together last week, saying, okay, if we break this little trend, there might be something here. And wow, did something happen. So big move there on MSTR. I'd say your next level is that 1820. Be careful up there. All right, guys, let's do a quick peek at that Nasdaq. Let's see what she's up to, and then we're jumping out of here. You can see Nasdaq did slightly break below that 18,370, but I would say let's keep an eye on that 370. Let's keep an eye on this yesterday low around 709. On the ES, you're still in that demand, right? You're still in that demand, okay? This has not given up right here. This has not given up, so be careful down in that demand. All right, guys, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. 1,800 people. We're struggling to get 1,000 likes today. Maybe someone didn't like that I said to stop predicting in the stock market. Sorry if I offended you, but it's the honest truth, and it's going to save you a lot, okay? Trade the levels. Set up trades based off technical levels. Have your stop losses based off technical levels. Trade things that are in front of you on the screen. Do not trade off of arbitrary ideas. Do not trade off of things you think about when you're in the shower, when you're laying in bed. Do not trade off big ideas that come up into your head for absolutely zero reason besides greed and desire to become a millionaire and win Lambo, okay? What's on the chart? What's the technical level? Let me trust that level. Let me set up a real trade idea, and let me stay disciplined, okay? That's the key. I know we're human, okay? And I'm not here telling you that I don't do the same damn thing. Trust me. I'm an idiot too sometimes. I do some stupid shit. Believe me that. Believe me that. But I am good at only doing it once in a while. I'm good at coming back from it. I'm good at staying disciplined as possible. You have to try to suppress it as much as you can. That's the key. All right, guys? Have a fantastic trading day. I'll see you tomorrow. Press the like button. Adios.